Our next speaker is Ed Allison-Wright, who's a director at the Centurion Group, who are a highly active local property company with involvement in many exciting projects locally. They own Brighton Square in the Lanes and have just released details of a fascinating scheme to create a whole new lane to much praise. The Centurion Group has expressed an interest in taking on the King Alfred project. Ed.
Thanks very much, Mike. I'll be very brief, essentially because I'd like to sort of open up the room to discussion, as you said earlier on. One of our sayings at Centurion is actually from stability take action. And from that, I think today we've seen a number of schemes that have been mentioned, both sort of before in the previous session and just now, that are based on one driver for the site. And I think what we need to sort of look at is we need to sort of rewind a little bit and look at what we've got with the site, and then sort of open it up to the community to make a decision. Because we've got so many aspirations in the room, we're really divided, really for Brighton and Hove, and we need to therefore balance and manage our aspirations so that we can find what's going to be the ideal for the site. So to summarise, we've got King Alfred has obviously been a subject to development proposals for a considerable time. There's now pressure from us, the local community, and all political parties to achieve an effective solution as soon as possible. For just over a year now, Sprunt, Architects and Centurion Group have engaged comprehensively with key stakeholders, elected members, council officers, to understand aspirations for the site. The planning policy context for any development take into account the emerging policy of the city plan and opportunities and constraints on the process for delivering the solution that have been looked into throughout this period. Sprunt and Centurion propose to act as project facilitators rather than developers, which will enable the site to be developed in the shortest possible time frame whilst ensuring that the council is involved as a partner at every stage of the process, thus maximising our community benefit from the project. As you know, this is a strategic and controversial site, and we have therefore taken time to present our ideas and advice to council members, including all party leaderships. The Conservative Ward Councillor for Hove being Andrew Wheels. There is another Ward Councillor, Councillor Audrey, however there is a conflict of interest with the Chair of the Land Committee. Members of the Brighton and Hove Economic Partnership have been consulted as well as Strategic Partnership, and also members of the King Alfred Project Board on a slightly less extent because of conflict of interest as well. In light of our feasibility costings based on massing studies of the site, which has been obviously shared with the local authority, we envisage that one could deliver a high quality mixed use development, making significant contributions to the seafront in what is a high profile location, and in line with the council's proposed seafront strategy, which is in play at the moment. Such a development is anticipated to provide the following, which is very much in line with the emerging policy brief, which is 400 to 440 high-quality homes, mix of private and affordable dwellings, new wet and dry leisure facilities to the value of circa 20 million. It's obviously questionable as to whether those facilities need to be on site or whether you can split the wet and dry between different sites. And this should, in theory, present us with a contribution of around 15 million towards other public service initiatives, which obviously the choice is down to us as to what we'd like that spent on. Essentially, I look forward to our discussion. I'll probably just finish with the reasoning behind what we'd like to do, which is to achieve these benefits of an open partnership and to avoid the complexities and delays involved in tendering. We propose that the project team is procured through a government framework, which is a procurement body that is already OG compliant and local authority owned. Essentially through this, we've got a transparent process which will enable the council to be an active partner at all stages, sharing benefits and selecting how these are to be best applied to the benefit of the local community. We therefore propose to facilitate a scheme that avoids developers' profit and earns a fee that has been tendered competitively for through the OG procurement process. Brighton and Hove City Council clearly needs to consider some sort of procurement route, and it is doing so. I think we mentioned it earlier, Mike, but it is worth noting that although a project board is in place and they're taking longer than everyone would like to, they are making progress. And in a discussion I had with I wrote an email to Councillor Bowden, and he kindly informed me that they are, it's taking a lot more time than they'd want, but they are certainly making progress, which is great to hear. Probably just to finish, our procurement route enables us to perform this sort of debate and decision all the way through the process in what is known as an open book discussion, and it should provide us with a mechanism to decide how best to use a surplus of funds raised by development and a mechanism to manage the aspirations to get going now for a cheaper price to local authority and a quicker action than has been seen before.
Thank you, Ed. It's always good to have someone of your calibre on the panel to answer questions afterwards.